Welcome. Ooh, let me get this right. Welcome to the first official recording of Still Woke News. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube. And maybe Twitch is coming. Maybe Twitch is coming, right? So welcome, and I want to thank everybody that did follow when nothing was really happening except I was saying that in January we would be going full speed ahead. So I'm Rain, and thank you all for being here. I am a news buff, writer, teacher, artist. So yes, I'm your multi-passionate reporter. Right. So so let me tell you, first of all, before I get to the news, like nothing, of course, was like I wanted it to be. My pink glasses have not arrived. I do have a pink microphone that I cannot figure out for the life of me. So all that will come, but I did not want to let you down. I thought I was set up, but then I'm like, okay, my picture's crooked back there. The hat's pretty cool. That's always there. Um, so anyway, everything was a little berserk, but didn't want to let you down. So happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. I would like for people to kind of think about, and if you want to share, I would like for you to think about, does it feel like a new year? Does it feel like a new start, or does it just feel like another day? Right? Another day. So just think about that. Like, that's something to kind of reflect on. So, moving along, what is it? It's January 2nd, and I'm going to tell you, I said to myself, why did I do this? Like, nobody can stay out of the news these days. Like, people take a rest, you know, especially our president. Like, he cannot stay out of the news. He cannot stay out of the news. But we will be talking about some celebrity, some celebrity things. Now, I have my assistant. Her name is Gemini. Okay, she's a great worker. She's a great worker. Right. So we'll be talking a little bit about politics, because he can't stay out of the news. And a little bit about celebrity and politics mixed together. So, I want to talk about the delusional aspect, right, of the things that come out of Donald Trump's mouth. Like the delusional aspects of it, right? Because we all know that lying is his thing. If you didn't know, Still Woke News is very liberal. And, you know, I'm open, but not to crazy. I'm not open to crazy. I'm open to ideas that have been thought out and that could possibly work for the American citizens. I'm open. And if it sounds logical and it makes sense, I will listen. But ultimately, ultimately, I am a liberal. It's my channel. So those who are not, you're welcome to listen. I'm just saying, okay, be nice. Be nice about it. Be kind about it. Say what you have to say and don't add words to it. Okay, please don't. Please don't insult anybody, especially not me. Don't do that. I wouldn't advise that. We liberals are gangster. Okay? The real liberals are gangster. All right? I'm just saying. Be nice. So, the president concerning his health, that came up again today, right? About how he really does look unwell, very unwell. And listen, he's going to be 80 years old this year, and often if we make it to that age, there's going to be some health issue or issues that we must address daily. We must watch what we are eating. We must change a lot of things, right? A lot of things are different. But for the president to stand in front of, ABC, Fox News, I mean, to him right now, they're all fake news. They're all fake news to him. But for him to stand in front of these reporters and say things like when I took the MRI, which is actually not what he had, but he thinks he took an MRI. He thinks he took an MRI, but it was actually a CT scan, right? But anyway, he says the doctor said that it was the best results that he had ever seen. Now, I remember when he answered this question a while ago, and he said, the doctor said my MRI results were the best he's ever seen for a man my age. Now, I mean, we know that that's not the truth, right? We know that was not the truth. So this time, I didn't hear him say for a man my age. I think it got better. I think he said the results of the MRI are the best that he has ever seen as a doctor. I doubt that. I mean, for any 80-year-old, and I have seen and I know some 80, 90-year-olds that are doing their thing. Don't get me wrong, okay? They are taking care, though, of themselves, right? But usually if you try to continue the same diet, the same way of living, you know what I mean? Like the same not caring what your blood pressure is, like when you're in your 20s and your 30s. When you continue those habits, right? You probably will not be as well as the people that I know who are very conscious every day of what they eat and how they eat it and what they don't eat. And we all know that DJT, he likes the fast food. So there was like a couple things very disturbing about what he said. Okay. And this is the latest comments from him. And my opinion, because I'm not a doctor, right? So he said that he takes 325 milligrams of aspirin, right? Now, this has come from an old, an older idea that a lot of doctors have given to 40-year-olds and on. Like once you turn 40, you start getting all the info, right? How do I stay alive? So it's my fireplace. uh yeah, so this is real here. This is real. Um so let's go back. He's taking 325 milligrams of aspirin, which comes from the idea when doctors told us at 40, 45, if you are pretty much healthy, but you may have heart disease, stroke. I have both of those things in the history of my family. So far, I've been really, really blessed. Um, but it's good to take one aspirin a day. And compared to some of the stuff that we take, we know one aspirin a day is really not a lot, right? It's really not a lot. So, and that was to maintain, right, uh, the way that your blood uh, would flow, right, through the heart, okay, and help to prevent possibly having a heart attack or a stroke, or if you've had one, it may help to prevent having another, okay? Uh, and this is what I remember hearing this, right? But 325 milligrams of aspirin, it is a lot. And he takes this, but what aspirin does, and a lot of things, right, is it thins the blood so that your blood runs clear, right? It's not clotting in places where it should not, where it should not. So that's a lot of aspirin. And for a man his age, he really should not be taking anywhere near that much because according to, our Dr. Frida that is on YouTube, her channel is Dr. Frida, right? Frita. Uh, this becomes almost like it reverses the effects, and because the blood is too thin, it can cause other problems, right? And I'm not quoting Dr. Frida, I'm paraphrasing because, like I said, she is a doctor for real. I'm not a doctor at all, but I do listen to her because I do have family history issues. So, he also said, the president also said he was given the socks that, they're pressure socks. I mean, my best friend had some. They're like super tight, right? And they help swelling and of the legs and the ankles, right? They're super tight, super hard to put on, but that is meant to be like that because they are supposed to grip, okay? He said he didn't like them, so he doesn't wear them. Okay, he doesn't wear them. And he didn't like the way the catheter bag looked in his pants, so he, uh All of these things where it is of dire importance that at almost 80 years old, you pay attention to the person who knows, right? The person who's taking the test, the person who's treated, they don't even know how many people, right? They're telling you that they see something that this would help. And then you say, I don't want to do it. I mean, which is our right, but it is not the logical thing to do. It's not the sensible thing to do. You know, and remember, he called Joe Biden Sleepy Joe. He was too old. He was declining, doesn't know what he's saying. And listen, we all know that there was an issue there. We all know that a part of that issue was the aging process, but we also knew that, it could have been, dementia, many things, right? So eventually, and I do think that it was hidden too long. I mean, we could see it, but I do think that the Biden administration should have come forth earlier, right? But they eventually did, and we ended up with our candidate, who was not Joe Biden, but was Kamala Harris. So I'm just saying we have a person here that criticized and every opportunity that Donald Trump had, he talked about Joe Biden as Sleepy Joe. When right now, reporters, speakers, are noticing that he's falling asleep. Donald Trump is falling asleep. I have seen it. I have watched them and I've seen it. Donald Trump says that's a blink. That is not a blink. A blink is what we do without thinking about it, right? That's a blink. But this is not a blink. It's not a blink. Okay. So, since he doesn't know how to be truthful, transparent, nor fair, why would he do it? Well, why would he pick one particular area of his life and do that? I haven't heard him be truthful, transparent, honest. I have not heard that. Everything is the best, the greatest. Let me take a note. Look at my notes here. Everything's the best, the greatest that anybody's ever seen. People who talk like that, that is delusional talk. Like when you're always like, everything is the best. My idea is the best in the history of the presidency of the United States. Like that sounds ridiculous. You weren't even we weren't even alive during most of that. I mean, sure, we read our history and we know the presidents and all of that. But I mean, every time with Donald Trump, it's always the best, the greatest of all time. You know what? I'm like, no, that is Muhammad Ali. That is Muhammad Ali talking about what he did best, right? And he stood up to that. He rose to the occasion, Muhammad Ali. So when you're saying like you're the best at this, you're the greatest, you're number one, nothing has worked before you, it's delusional. delusional talk. He's not really even in the conversation, right? It's like a 5-year-old, right? Everything you did was great, was great. Oh, look, look at my Legos. It's great. It's the greatest ever, you know. So I want to take a look, you know. I'm just laughing about something that I'm seeing here, but I want to talk about uh who is it? George Clooney. Before we get into George Clooney and Donald Trump, I want to talk about also the warning to Iran, right? Uh, I'm going to read a little bit of it and then we'll talk about it, right? The biggest story breaking this morning is a stark warning Trump posted to Truth Social, which is his own platform. Amidst a week of escalating economic protests across Iran, the president warned the Iranian government that if they violently kill peaceful protesters, the U.S. will come to their rescue. He explicitly stated the U.S. is locked and loaded. You ready to go? They actually wrote that, but I didn't even see it. They're ready to go. That's locked and loaded. This has immediately spiked tensions in the Middle East, with Iranian officials responding that any U.S. intervention would be a red line, right? Will be a red line. So what does red mean? Stop, right? When we're driving, right? Stop. That's the line you don't want to cross. Okay? So there's a couple things in here that really was interesting, because Donald Trump repeatedly contradicts what he says, or he says things and when they sound good, but when they don't sound good for him, then it's something different, right? I'm going to explain to you. So Donald Trump says the president warned the Iranian government that if they violently kill peaceful protesters, the U.S. will come to their rescue and be like, pow, 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 right? So I'm like, well, we had a lot of damage done to protesters here who were peaceful protesters. And let's not even talk about, I mean, it's so much, it's a whole show about immigration and the way that the president is ordering, right, these ICE raids, and how many people are actually supposed to be in these compounds, which the number, by the way, is very low, like extremely low, right, of the people that actually committed crimes of some sort, right? The rest of the people, I mean, listen, you're not even allowed, when you are caught up by ICE, like, you're not even allowed to say, oh, here's my ID, here are my papers. Wait, I'm an American citizen. I've been here. Wait, I fought in a war. I'm hearing all of this, right? And these people are not even allowed to speak once ICE gets them, like, And sometimes it's literally like the chokehold. You know what I'm saying? So they aren't even allowed to speak. You can go watch. They can't say anything. How can they prove that you shouldn't be here when you can't prove that you should? right? How can they prove that you shouldn't be here when you won't allow them to prove that they should? Yeah. I mean, it's just absolutely like insane. And so, I mean, the fact that that he is committing us, Trump is committing us to involving ourselves in this whole Iranian you know, violent violent mess is really funny, because the violent mess, and I don't mean, and you know I don't mean funny like haha, I mean strange. Like, do you care about our peaceful protesters, right? He's talking about violence toward peaceful protesters, but no one seems to care about the violence towards our peaceful protests, let alone people being hit with ice at school, children, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, women who are pregnant, women who are working a job have been attacked by ICE. There's tons of videos out there. And what they want, guys, what they want is for us not to believe what we're actually seeing. They want us to question what we're seeing and what we're hearing when it's right there. It's right there. We're seeing it. We saw it. We saw it, man. You know? So the last thing I want to touch upon is this whole thing with George Clooney and his family actually becoming citizens of France. And he also apparently, it says, and the twins, so the children, but the whole family, right, is becoming citizens of France. And so, of course, Trump spoke about that, right? And, and was, pretty much like, good for you, Clooney, in a way that we know, that he doesn't mean it, but right? So, George Clooney shot back, and George Clooney said, yeah, something like we'll still be involved. We'll be back, back and forth to America, France, because we're waiting, right, for November to make America great again, right? So November is, again, the primary, the midterm elections, right, where probably, I'm just saying, the Democrats, you see I got on my unicorn colors, right? I'm just saying, but I think it's more than just a feeling. I think that everything that's been going on is saying that some of these people are like, I didn't sign up for this. People are craving honesty. Just the truth. Doesn't have to be grand. What is it? You know what I mean? And what is it not? That's the truth. It's not difficult. What is it? Whatever it is, and what is it not? And I think the United States citizens are realizing how important this thing called integrity really is. That's my dryer. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like what we consider little things, like just somebody being real with me. I know for me, if somebody's being real with me, you know what I mean? Like I can deal with that all the way. I can deal with disagreeing with them. I can deal with them disagreeing with me. I can deal with them saying, "Hey, these are my thoughts. This is my perspective." But just be real. Just come with the realness. We haven't heard y'all one truth, because think about it. Even when Donald Trump is saying something that maybe right in that moment cannot be denied, therefore it is truth, but he feels the need to add to that to make it completely nonsensical, crazy, you know. He might say something like, we're working on a new health care plan, you know, and it's going to be the greatest health care plan you have ever seen in your life. When we all know that he just simply wants Obama's name off of it. Take the Okay, what if we ever see it? If we ever see it, this new healthcare plan for everybody that's supposed to make things easier for everybody, that plan, right? If we ever see it, it's going to be like the same Obamacare, and it's just going to say Trump care. Kennedy Center. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say today. I hope you guys, at least enjoyed. Were a little entertained. Had the feeling like, yeah, that's right. She's talking my ish. Okay. I hope you had that. My dog is going in and out the door. So I'm getting the pink glasses because you can see my logo. And then I'm going to figure out all this other stuff. Okay. So the schedule: Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Okay. You will get the breaking news. It will not always be politics if I don't feel like it. I didn't really see any pop culture news that was worth it. Here, the news has got to be worth our time, right? Your time is precious. Mine is precious. Believe me, I got more time than money. So I'm signing off. This is Rain, and this is Still Woke News. And listen, don't get all choked up about woke. Remember what we made it, right? And then remember simply, it is the opposite of sleep. So, bye, everybody.